Get your questions in straight away. I think it's going to be a busy one tonight over here at Zoom for Expats Portugal. Let's start with you then, shall we, Daniel? The budget, it would appear, was accepted yesterday as planned, it has to be said, but that hasn't made anything that much clearer, really, right? So could you attempt to clarify the situation for us tonight about the NHR? Good evening to you. How are you?
Well, good evening. Pardon. I'm quite all right. Well, today was quite a rainy day in Lisbon, and I think all out in Portugal. So, not a good day to be outside. In terms of the budget, it was indeed approved, and we do have a government that is going to be demoted in a few days, and elections in March. So things are developing. And in terms of the transitory regime, I still haven't studied the law in detail, but it seems that it was approved. The budget, it was indeed. Oh, I'm hearing myself.
Yeah, that's twice. You going. Yeah, that's going out on YouTube. I've sorted that out now. Apologies for that.
But yeah, it's been fun to see the political discussion, and it seems that the transitory regime was indeed approved. So people that have the promissory purchase agreements dated from the 10th of October, or rental agreements, that will be proof that you can request tax residency in 2024 and request the NHR. And if you have a residency visa or a residency permit until the end of the year, or eventually a promissory work contract, that's enough as well until the end of the year to request this NHR. So it seems that the news are indeed good. At least we have this transitory regime, but more questions will follow for sure.
Yep, thank you, Daniel. And elections 10th of March next year, the dissolution of the government itself probably in early December, I guess. That's basically from tomorrow onwards, right? The next few days, we can accept that. Okay, meanwhile, the PM's gone off to look possibly at his new job in Brussels. We hear. Thank you, Daniel, for being here tonight. So any more questions about NHR? If we want further clarification, we understand it's confusing and difficult, so we will keep talking about it until you are clear about it, or close to anyway. Gilda, did you want to add anything to that particular picture? Thank you for joining us, by the way, on the Dream Team.
No, it's everything that I said before, and as you can see, Daniel repeated the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Gilda, for that. Anything else you want to add? We are in a different webinar to the one before. Of course, we talked about Casa Portuguesa. That webinar will be streamed, the recording of which will be streamed on Sunday evening at 6 o'clock. The recording from the last webinar. Carolina did a great job. She's also with us again here tonight if you want to ask any more questions about Casa Portuguesa, which is, of course, a service for finding you a rental or a house purchase here in Portugal. And an excellent service it is too. Gilda, any news from IMA? I've heard that they've had quite a few complaints already.
Yes, I don't know. Did you read that?
It was in the one of the English-speaking newspapers here in Portugal, which it was either the Portugal News or the Resident, and often that is lifted directly from some of the Portuguese news wires. And I'd heard that IMA, in its first few weeks of operation, had received quite a few complaints.
Yeah, it is possible now. The visas are being granted without appointments. And this is causing a big problem because the appointments are not being able to be made by phone, which sometimes when they were not granted from some consulates, people got here in Portugal and they could make the appointments by phone. Now it's not possible by phone, and they are not being granted when the visa is granted. So it's a bit confusing. Adding to that, the tax offices are now being a little bit, and I don't want to put people in panic here. But they are now asking for the safe appointments when people have a visa, which doesn't make sense.
No. Okay.
David, please don't panic.
But you are there to help people with this, of course. I mean, that's the point here.
Yes. We are trying to help people because that is not what the law says.
Okay. All right. I want to welcome the rest of the Dream Team panel. We have a new person with us tonight, Tessa from Greenback. Patrick and Barbara, don't worry, I will get to you, definitely, okay? I understand it was a bit chaotic at the beginning. David, the same, and Lowell, I will get to you all. Do rest assured. Sloan, happy to see you. Hello, Gilda. So nice to see your beautiful smile. That will go a long way. Do you have a question as well, Sloan? Let's talk to Camilla. Nuno might be with us as well, but what's going on in the world of insurance? Camilla, good evening to you. Boa noite.
Boa noite. Nuno is here. Go, Nuno.
Handing the baton over to Nuno.
He's somewhere strange.
Yeah, no, it's not strange. So today I have other duties and I cannot be here. I just entered to say hi to everyone. And you are with Camilla in very good hands. So I live with her.
Nuno, you legend. What do we say?
No, at all.
Before you go, could you just give us the Scout promise in Portuguese?
Sempre alerta para servir.
Excellent.
Always
stuff.
prepared to serve.
Have a great camp. I'm guessing that's where you are.
No. I'm coaching, training other people today.
Oh, you wonderful man. Thank you for popping in.
So sorry, not being here.
Not
but you
at
are
all.
in good hands.
Thank you
Have
so
a good
much.
night, everyone.
Good night to you. Nuno,
bye.
Scout. He's a scout leader. I'm just answering the question for you then, Nuno. Patrick and Barbara saying Nuno is a Boy Scout. He seems a bit too old. How rude! He's a leader, not a.
No. I will be always a child. So don't worry. I'm a Boy Scout.
I thought I'd let you say that rather than me. Cheers, Nuno. Have a great evening.
Ciao. Good evening, everyone.
Camilla. Cheers, mate. Bye for now. Camilla, any news from the world of insurance? You talked to us recently about rising premiums. Do we have any news on that front?
Yeah. We received some numbers about this. I'm sorry, I don't have it here, but we are seeing some increase, but especially at 60s above.
Oh, 60 plus clients.
Yeah. Yep. They present to us some expenses, medical expenses, especially at this range of age, and that's why this increase is bigger for this range of age.
Okay, so anticipate some increases in premiums, you 60 plus folks, and best way to deal with that and understand what you're up against is make a call to insurance. Camilla here to answer any questions you've got about insurance, any aspect of insurance for expats here in Portugal. So thank you for being here tonight, Camilla. Let's welcome our new Dream Team member. We've got Tessa with us, I believe. Good evening to you, Tessa.
Hi, Carl. How are you?
Hi, I'm very well. Good to see you. So you're from Greenback there. Tell us about yourself and the service you offer.
We're from Greenback Expat Tax Services, and we help American expats that have moved abroad with their expat taxes because we know how things can get a little bit tricky when you move abroad. Yes. We've been in business since 2009, so over 13 years. We work with an extremely experienced team of accountants that all have numerous years in expat tax preparation. We help everyone not only in Portugal but around the world. Our team is also globally located as well, so we have almost 24-hour coverage for all inquiries and assistance, and we're just here to help.
Yep, I think I spoke to Dave before at Green. Yes, absolutely. So do give my regards to Dave. And the key message tonight, of course, is because you've moved to Portugal doesn't mean you can forget about your tax situation in the United States. Far from it, right? You've got to file both sides for the rest of your life, basically, and make sure you attend to it with a tax professional on both sides of the water. That's a really important message tonight, I think, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. Although there are ways that you can mitigate your US tax liability, you absolutely can't forget that you do need to file those returns.
As much as you'd like to, you can't do that, folks. Oh, right. Okay. So that's the message from Greenback tonight. So anything you'd like to know about your US expat taxes, if that's you, we can put those to Tessa. So thank you for joining us tonight, Tessa. Thanks for being here.
Great, thank you. Happy to be here.
All right, excellent stuff. Erica saying on the matter of insurance, I just got my bill today 60% higher. The Allianz premium for Erica there, reduced reimbursement percentage, increased co-pays. So it's a general situation. Definitely worth a call to insurance to see what you're up against there and see how they can mitigate that further for you. Let's see who else is here from the Dream Team. Camilla, no, sorry, not Camilla. Carolina, did you want to say hi from Casa Portuguesa? I know you've been busy in the last webinar, but could you just make yourself known to everybody here on this call as well?
Of course. Hello, everybody. I'm from Casa Portuguesa, as Carl mentioned. And if you have any questions regarding renting or buying an apartment in Portugal, we're open to questions and to clarify all your doubts.
Brilliant. And we do have some of those questions. So good work, Carolina. Thank you for being here for the last one and for being here again tonight. So we've got EI, we've got Casa Portuguesa, we've got Daniel from Reis and Pelicano, we've got Camilla from Insurance and Daniel from Reis and Pelicano. I have a short message to read to you from Sarah from Spartan FX, who can't be with us tonight, but would like me to read out something for you as a bit of an update. This is according to property price data. House prices throughout the country have increased by 6.5% over the last 12 months, and in the Algarve up to 15% in this message from Sarah. In the same time period, for an American, the cost of buying euros has increased by 4.5%, which takes these costs up to 11 and 19.5% respectively. This is why she says it's important to factor in exchange rate movements when you are considering moving your money or buying a property in Portugal. With our currency expert, Spartan FX, you are able to buy your euros in advance or fix the rate for your future payment or purchase, helping to control these increasing costs. So make sure you reach out to Spartan FX if you want to do that, and you can find them in our business directory. Okay, let's get straight to the questions. I think if you're happy, Lowell, David, and Patrick and Barbara, to ask your questions live on the webinar, on the Dream Team session now, do so. Lowell, did you want to do that? Is that why you've got your hand up? Are you happy to ask your question out loud?
Yes, Carl. Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Go ahead, yeah.
All right. Boa noite, everybody. Let me give you some quick background on this. This has to do with an NHR and how you would advise me to proceed. My wife and I both have EU citizenship as well as US citizenship. In 2022, we put money down on a house, a new construction in Madeira, and the house is not complete yet. And we are not tax residents yet. So we have a couple questions. Can we defer becoming tax residents and applying for the NHR in 2024? So that would be part one. And here's what complicates it and has our head spinning a little bit, Carl.
Sure. Yeah.
Is that we have our residency permits that we also received last year in 2022, and it was based off an address from a rental that we no longer reside at in Madeira. Our NIF has our U.S. address on it. So we have basic questions. Which address do we use? Do we need to get a rental property? What do we do next year to get this moving?
Complex situation. Great question. Let's put that to Gilda straight away.
Be short and clear. If I were on your shoes and if it's important for you to get the NHR, I would find a rental agreement until the end of this year. And because you have the crew, I would change the address based on that rental agreement and then would ask for the NHR.
Okay. And you understand what a crew is, Lil, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
No. Define it for me, please. Is that the residency permit?
Yeah. That's the EU.
Yeah. The crew is the residency permit for an European citizen.
Okay. So you would suggest becoming a tax resident in this year and getting a rental agreement. But if I got a rental agreement now, doesn't that invalidate the prior to October date requirement that was just?
No, because you already have the crew. You already have the crew. Okay.
Yes.
So
Okay.
the most difficult part you already have, which is the residency. So now you just need a rental agreement to change your tax resident.
Okay, so just to be clear, we have a residency certificate. Is that the same thing as a crew?
What is your other nationality?
American.
No, the European one.
It's Irish.
Irish, okay. So in that one, what do you have? You have something say that it's the one that you have some stars around?
Yes, yes.
An
Okay,
A4
so
sheet.
yeah, so that's the crew. So with that paper and a rental agreement, until the end of the year, you are able to change your tax residency to Portugal and then apply to the NHR. But you need to come in person.
Right. Okay. So that's what we're in Madeira right now.
No. Actually, because the crew you need to be in person. The other for the rental agreement and the change of address you can do with the power of attorney.
Yeah. The problem we have is when we tried to change our address on our NIF from the US to Portugal, there was no drop down that allowed us to select Portugal as the new country in our address.
I don't think you were doing it in the correct place, to be honest.
Yes, that's
Sorry,
very
Can you say that again, Daniel? I missed the beginning of that.
I don't think that he was doing it on the correct place in the web portal, but I do fully agree with Gilda. If you want the zero problems situation and 100% sure that you'll have the NHR come this year and have a rental agreement, I think it's the safest option.
Okay.
Or with the power of attorney, we can go in person.
All right. Well, I'm here. I've got time to do it, and we're gonna give it a shot. So if we go to the tax office, they will be able to help us change our NIF address. Then.
Yes.
Are you in Portugal at the moment?
In Madeira.
Yes.
Madeira.
Just to deal with this.
Yeah, I think that you should take the chance and change your tax residency now if you are in Portugal. And a rental would be quite useful for that, no doubt about it.
We got that. Now, the last question is, right now we have a rental agreement in Funchal, but our resident permit was done in Caniço. Do we need to go to the tax office in Funchal or Caniço? Or does it matter?
That is a bit irrelevant. What you can do is that you can go to the municipality and ask to change the address on the paper. If the tax office asks for it.
Okay.
Go to the nearest finances first and start there. Is that right, Gilles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much. Sorry to take so much time.
Yeah, I'm sorry we didn't get to you in the last webinar. We've got to you now and hope that helps.
Yes, but do that, and I'm pretty sure you won't have any problem. That would be fine. And if you do, just drop us an email.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Gilda.
One last thing. Tomorrow the offices are closed, correct?
Yes,
correct.
Yes.
Yes, it is the 1st of December holiday, the Restoration Day. Yeah.
Beautiful. Obrigado. Muito obrigado.
De nada.
Excelente. Okay, obrigado to you. Igualmente. Lowell there. Thank you very much. Still in the queue. David, Patrick and Barbara and Linda. Let's go to David next then.
Hi there.
Hi, David.
For Gilda and Daniel, in terms of this timetable, the transition agreement, I had my VSF appointments on the 1st of November and my tenancy started on the 1st of November. So both of those events took place after the 10th of October. So I don't qualify for the October deadline, but I got an email saying my visa is ready for collection. So I can go and collect my visa. So to get on the NHR, do I need to get my visa and get to Portugal? Or do I need to collect my visa, scan it, notarize it, and have a power of attorney to get it done before the end of the year?
Good question, David. Gilles, are you going to pick that up?
You can scan your visa and send it to us with the power of attorney to get it changed.
to get the NHR registered?
Yes. The only problem, as I was saying in the beginning of this session, is that we need to see if you have an appointment on your visa.
No,
because
I won't have, because they sent me an email saying it's carnage and we can't give you an appointment. You'll have to do that separately yourself.
Yeah, okay. So the struggling that we are having now with IMA is first for them to give us appointments, or to the tax office is stop this, because people have a residency visa and they are entitled of having appointments. So that's how we are at the moment.
Okay.
But,
so primarily, David should stay in touch with you to help him.
Yeah,
with
he's
that
in
process.
touch with us.
Okay, David, does that work for you?
Yeah. So basically, I should go and get this visa as quickly as possible.
Yes, and send it to us.
Okay. I was going to go on the 18th, but I'll contact them tomorrow and try and go and pick it up sooner.
Yeah. With VFSs, do they celebrate Restoration Day as well, or around the world do they stay with the sort of local public holidays, Gilda, in your experience?
I think that I don't know. I think that because there are some holidays that the consulate celebrate and others they don't.
So check first, David, before going to London for that. I hope that helps.
I'll phone you, Gilda, and discuss it with you.
Okay.
Essentially, he's got to go to tax office before the end of the year. Is that right? To get
yes, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Question answered. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Patrick and Barbara, thank you for your patience tonight. I know a lot of these things sound very personal, but I think there are some sort of general rules and principles that can be lifted out of these personal case studies here. Patrick and Barbara, what's yours?
Actually, it's exactly that, Carl. We had taken advantage when Gilda had offered the call now and we'll move you in and expedite your process. We haven't heard, unfortunately, through this on whether or not the transitory period will allow us to start the process. I mean, we already have our VFS appointment in January, and then would be looking towards getting the NHR once everything is set through and gone through in 2024. Is that still possible? I mean, all the other speakers have talked about the four other categories, but have left the if you've made a attempt to a credible or competent agency. Is that still in process, or are we out of luck?
Gilda, can we help Patrick and Barbara here tonight?
Do you have a rental agreement from before?
We have nothing. We were just starting the process and talked to Carolina and set the appointment, and we just started the process now.
Daniel, what do you think?
I think it probably doesn't fit into the transitory regime. This is my guess. Because if there's no rental agreement, there's no visa still issued. I don't think it will fit into the transitory regime.
Okay, that was the strange thing, because in the there were 5 criteria for the the December 31st, having the offer, having a kid in school, having something else, and then there was the competent. And in all of the information I found up until 3 days ago had that 5th element. But now, about if you have applied and can show intent to move, but it seems like in the last 2 days that element has been dropped out.
Would you agree, Gilda, with that 5th element?
What was the 5th element?
That you've made an attempt or you have applied through a competent agency and have shown in 2023 your intent to move.
Yeah. I remember talk of that, but it's how that's proven, isn't it, really, that's the key here now.
And see, that's the concern, because when I'm not pointing fingers, but when we talked to EI, it was, this isn't going to be a problem because as we viewed it at the time, this is making you eligible. But now it seems people, and not AI, but outside people have dropped that. The government and spokespeople have dropped that and saying, you know, it's the other.
Yes, things changed. When was it, Daniel? 2 days ago.
Okay.
Correct.
When did things changed?
Well, the budget was approved on the 29th, so yes.
That was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, yesterday, 29th. Although on the 28th, we already knew.
This is a really unusual situation for us. These dream team calls and the webinars, we're so used to helping people, and now we've got this hard stop with the law that's just, you know, coming in.
I'm going to check.
That would be great. What I would suggest, Patrick and Barbara, just, you know, so we're not leaving you hanging here tonight, and, you know, so that we can move on, is perhaps to make sure that there is a call between you and EI, so that you can absolutely make sure, and that we can get rid of this doubt that's hanging there with this other criteria that you mentioned, Patrick. I think that's probably the best we can do for you tonight. I'm sorry I can't be any more helpful than that.
No, that's fine. I noticed that Rebecca H had commented the same as her own.
I mean, that's essentially the situation, isn't it? Is this last element, as you described it, of proving a situation where you are showing a definite interest to move to Portugal within a certain time frame, and that's just far too kind of grey, isn't it, for us to work on in this context? And I think we need to just make sure you have a conversation with the right people and prove it one way or the other.
That's fine. I mean, it's not your fault. It's just, I work in politics. I know how politics work.
It's very understanding of you.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy politics.
Yeah. And you know, maybe Daniel can correct me, but who knows, with the election in March, it may be reintroduced then, because it was presented in all the documents I saw as these were the socialist attempt to buy off votes for the future election.
That's a whole can of worms right there, and you may well be right. And we don't know, do we, until that new party comes in? Yeah.
Well, depends on the result of the elections, and if the Social Democratic Party is elected, and even if they are elected, if they have the will to change the regime. They were the ones implementing the regime in the first place. But probably this will face some backlash if they try to revert these measures, especially because of the price of housing in Portugal. And there's a lot of people blaming the NHR because it attracted foreigners to Portugal and foreign investment, and thus, thus the price of the houses. So we still need to, addressing your situation, we still need to consult the budget and see the final result of the budget and see the general opinion. It seems that the news do state that criteria that you were addressing is if you have an ongoing visa procedure started until the 31st of December, but this needs to be double checked. Do address this with Gilda's team on an email, because your situation is, I would say, more or less on the gray area, so this needs to be checked carefully.
Yeah,
that's fine. So we will continue with the assumption that it's going to continue, but we can always cancel later if we find out it isn't, and then push it back later.
Yeah, Patrick, sorry we can't be more helpful, and thank you for asking the question.
Okay,
I think
I'm sorry, I'm just reading here. The changes. Okay, so they changed like the employment contract that was until the 10th of October. It changed until the December 31st. So did 2023, so did initiated the application process for a residency visa or residency permits with the competent authority until December 31st, 2023. This is the last version of the state budget that came out yesterday.
So
So
then we
what-
would still be, yeah, then we're still in consideration.
Yeah,
If-
that's how I hear it. But it has to be interpreted and understood, doesn't it? And there has to be a final word from the government who will have the last word on it.
Yes.
And
So-
it seems like with the Portuguese government, it depends on which consulate you talk to about it. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, we look forward to hearing from Gilda's agency on Monday after they've had a wonderful holiday on
Well,
Friday.
it's very kind of you, Patrick. And yeah, like I said, sorry we can't be more helpful, but watch this space. We will continue to talk about it until we absolutely can't talk about it anymore, because it becomes clear.
Yes,
one
but
way or the
this
other.
this is very, it's like today we look like we look like we are crazy, but it's not us, I swear.
Yeah, we just
Trust me, again, working in government, this is often a look everyone has.
it's
So-
like passive craziness, isn't it? It's not the direct. It's not
Yeah.
the direct craziness. It's passive craziness that has rolled downhill, so to speak.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you for your
nailing
understanding.
Jello to the wall.
Yes, that's another great way of putting it. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Patrick and Barbara,
Thank you, folks.
in Detroit. So take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Let's go to Linda Corran. Good evening to you, Linda. Are you happy to talk publicly?
Yes,
Go
I
ahead,
am.
Linda.
There's a little twist to this one.
No,
I
I can't take any more.
boy.
Right, go on.
Here are all the twists. I have the rental agreement. I've had that since September.
Yeah.
And also last week, it's about 10 days ago now, I received an email, and I have been to VFS in San Francisco. I got an email from them last week, and they told me that my visa had been approved.
Oh.
Now, okay, but that was the first half of the sentence. The second half said, you must come, or you must send your passport to us. I left my passport with VFS in San Francisco when I submitted the documents, and they have either lost it or it's stolen. Now, I mean, I'm at my wit's end.
I can understand. Yeah.
I don't want you to see me cry on that.
No, I totally understand, Linda. Totally understand
Now,
the situation.
the
here.
situation is this. My understanding is that the visa is good for 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's one worry that I have. I have actually managed to get in touch with the consulate by email to a person, believe it or not, about 5 days ago, and was told to, send the email, which I did. I have heard nothing from them. I am prepared to make the long trip down to Texas or into Colorado to get another passport. Mm-hmm. However, all my documents have my old passport. Am I going to have trouble with the Portuguese consulate if I submit a new passport? Will they stamp that one for me? That's number one. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I don't know how long this can go on. They might say, "Oh no, you didn't do this. You didn't do this." Well, and in it's 80 days now. We're 10 days in, and I've been trying to get help. I need help desperately.
Understand.
And my understanding, and I did email a Monday morning. Claudia would have received the email. Mm-hmm. And I've heard nothing. And I need legal help. I need somebody who has at least a voice contact with somebody in the Portuguese embassy or consulate.
Foreign affairs, even. It does sound like an escalation here, doesn't it, Gilda? Now, first thing I want to ask, Linda, or assert is that from what I've heard over these, last 2 or 3 years, is the paper trail is really important. Keep recording everything you're doing. And I want to ask Gilda, do you get a receipt for your passport in terms of the paper trail? Is that what happened, Gilda? So Linda can know, and everyone can know that the passport was left there?
Something very strange happened.
Right.
When I went to the VFS and had my appointment, the man named Ace, who I think is probably a manager of the department, I'm not quite sure. He's Asian American. For some reason, he got the idea that I was going to take my passport home with me. But at the very end of our conversation, he repeated that again. And I said, no, I want to do this as quickly as possible. And the best way, under my understanding, is that the passport goes to the consulate.
Right.
And so he took the passport from me and stuffed it in the manila envelope, and that was it.
Okay. Gilda, what do you think?
I had one case like this before, and at the end the passport showed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
After 2 weeks, it was with the VFS.
And was it San Francisco?
No, it was Washington, D.C.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, is there any way, now the people, I have not contacted VFS directly. I've contacted everybody else that I can think of.
Yeah.
Yes, but you should contact VFS and explain the situation. Maybe they have your passports.
How could it be? I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. Trust me. I had a situation like that before.
And so they would actually take what surprises me is if all of the documents went into the same manila envelope, what does VFS have to do with picking things out? Or do they separate everything?
Maybe they separate to prepare. I've never been there, so I don't know what they actually do. How do they send the process to the consulate?
What I'm hearing here, if I may, Linda, is that, on the one hand, you can hope and wait for this situation to resolve, which in many ways you have to do on the one hand, because it is out of everyone's control here and it's with the relevant authorities. But what I'm hearing is, Gilda, is what can Linda do practically to register her concerns and keep track and note of what's going on so that she has some sort of redress? Does that help, Linda? I mean, is that the sort of information you're looking for?
Well, up to now, everything I've done has been emails. So I have track of everything,
that's good.
and everything that I've received.
Yeah.
However, what I'm worried about is that by the time either the VFS says, hey, we don't have it, it's gone, and the consulate say, we don't have it. I don't want to be in that situation. I need some legal help.
Yeah.
I know that you have people who can do this. I will pay for it. That's great. I'd be very happy to. But I need to do that, and I want to do it as quickly as possible.
So the question is, can you initiate a legal process to find out what's going on and take the necessary action? And can you help with that, Gilda?
Yes, we can. We can do it. But also what Janine was saying, that she can get a lawyer there, and we can take both sides. We can take a side from here to press the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the consulates to try to explain that the consulate needs to accept another passport, to put the visa on another passport based on what happened. We need to work on that side. And I think that Linda should hire a lawyer to pursue the situation with VFS, because it's unacceptable.
Which she sounds like she's happy to do. There's no contact tomorrow. It's a public holiday, Linda, and everyone needs to know that, of course, over here in Portugal. So maybe on Monday you could initiate that call and contact and get that ball rolling. Is that okay with you, Linda?
Well, if VFS they may be open tomorrow, or are they closed? If they're in the United States,
VFS may be open. VFS is
probably
open.
Yeah, could be. But how do I find a lawyer? I need somebody who knows what's going on.
That's what I'm suggesting. EI need to help with that, right, Gilda?
Yes.
And so I need a lawyer here in the US as well as in Portugal, or?
Well, I was suggesting someone that could go there and knock the door. What do you think, Daniel? Because you know how these things work. We can send emails and go after them, but someone that could go there, maybe it could be more effective.
With the power of attorney in the hand. Daniel.
I think that connecting with VFS is important at the moment because you haven't tried that route yet, and they may have your passport lying around in a table somewhere. And eventually having someone local will be relevant. But some pressure from EI team is added pressure, and Gilda probably knows the situation way better than me on this topic, but having all fronts covered is probably the best route forward. VFS, a local lawyer, and EI working on the case. That's probably my advice.
Linda. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
again,
to let you in, anybody in.
Say again.
I'm worried about VFS letting anybody in. You know,
I guess, you'll need to try that. And again, like, I'm sorry to have to keep saying this, but we're sorry we can't help you anymore this evening. But keep us informed, maybe on the Expats Portugal forum as well. Get a bit of moral support, if nothing else.
But Linda, be positive, stay positive. We had negative things before, and we were always being able to get through them. Remember.
There you go, Linda. And we understand as well how difficult and distressing it must be for you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I hope we can sort this out.
We will.
Fingers crossed for you over here. So yes, and all the best to you. So keep us informed with what's going on. You know, we're here every week. It'll be great to check in with you either on the forum or here on the Dream Team session. I think that's as much as we can do. We need to move on tonight, Linda. So all the best with that.
Okay.
Janine saying, knock on the VFS door directly. Go there and knock on the door. Thinking good thoughts for you as well. You've got everyone behind you, I think, here. Wishing you well with this. LaRonda even suggesting, did you file a police report that your passport has been lost or stolen? It's worth thinking about as well, isn't it? That's another kind of paper trail thing there.
I wouldn't do that for the time being.
No, hold off on that. Is it a bit too...
Unless you have a definite answer from VFS and from the consulate stating that the passport was lost. Because otherwise the authorities may void the passport in the registry. If the passport is found out, then you do create somewhat of a mess. So unless you are 100% sure that the passport is not found anywhere, don't communicate to the authorities yet that it was lost. If indeed no one can find the passport, communicate it, request a new passport, and then have a special request to the Portuguese consulate to glue the visa in this new passport.
Very good. Thank you, Daniel, for that. Excellent. All right, there you go, Linda. I need to move on. I'm so sorry.
Just another thing. The validity of the visa, it's not 90 days. It's 120 days.
Is it?
Yes.
That's a little ray of hope right there. Thank goodness. Yes. All right.
Now, okay.
All right.
I missed. This was recorded, right? Because somehow I didn't get connected with you until you had finished talking, Gilda, and I just got a little bit of you, Daniel, so I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I will watch the recording.
With no disrespect to those people you've mentioned there, that you didn't miss a great deal. It might have seemed like a long time as people were trying to get connected, but it was only a minute or two, and we have covered much more about the NHR since everyone's been connected on the call. And you're right, you can watch it again on the YouTube recording. As with all the webinars and Dream Team sessions that we do. We've got Shari as well from Greenback. So don't forget, we've got Greenback here who can help you with your US expat taxes. We've got Winsurance here too. Spartan Effects can't be here, but you can get in touch with them through the Expats Portugal Business Directory, which is the right place for all of the professionals that join us on the Dream Team session. Let's go to Rahan's question. I'm aware we've only got 15 minutes left. We have been officially overwhelmed tonight. Not even got to YouTube. I will say hello to everybody over there, and thank you for tuning in over there. Rahan over here on Zoom says, we are moving finally to Portugal on the 21st of December on the solstice. Jerry, we expect champagne on arrival. Note to Jerry, the sting in the tail is getting VFS appointments. It's like attempting to locate a leprechaun. EI, what are your insights, learnings on getting a VFS appointment in London, Gilda?
I think they are closed at the moment.
And David was saying, wasn't he, how difficult it was, of course, to get an appointment in London as well.
Yes. I think that for him, it was not that difficult.
Okay. All right. I hope
But
that.
but now because of this NHR running, they ran out appointments for December, and I think that they didn't open yet for January.
So for Rahan and for helping Rahan, if they're not open and offering appointments, that's not Rahan's fault, is it? So they just have to keep trying.
Yes.
Okay. All right. For EI, Jerry said to ask this in the webinar, so we should. I don't need to ask it live. Erica is asking, and I'll do it on your behalf. My question is about the validity period mentioned below, and this is I think a message that's come from the government. Since the first temporary residence permit is 2 years, does this mean 6 months or 8 months, respectively, during the 2-year period? That question, and I'm not sure if I need to read this, but it says duty to communicate the holder of the temporary residence permit who intends to be absent from Portugal during the validity period for a time frame exceeding 6 consecutive months. Oh, this is the context. Or 8 unsequential months has a duty to inform CEF before leaving national territory. This 6-month and 8-month thing, Gilda, please.
You know the answer already.
Yes, but I'm not the one who is the professional here. I mean, I would like to answer that, but I need to give that back to you. I haven't got a good lawyer like you do.
Yes. So, during the period of your residency permit, which the first one, which is 2 years, you cannot be away from Portugal for more than 6 consecutive months or 8 months if interpolated. It says that if you exceed this period, you should inform CEF now IMA. I never saw this happening. My clients don't do it. I don't know how to do it. Send an email saying, oh, I'm going to be away for. So in practice, what I advise my clients to do, keep a record of your ins and outs. And then when you go for the renewal, if there is an audit about your ins and outs, you need to be prepared with the justification. You can give a justification by professional reasons, health reasons, and family assistance reasons.
There you go. Funnily enough, that's exactly what I would have said. So, Erica, there you go. That's your question answered by Gilda there. And we will come to that cultural question by way of a little bit of light relief at the end there, Tom. Thank you very much for that. Barak celebrating from home in Travança de Lagos, not Lagos down south, but in central Portugal. Welcome to Portugal, Barak. That's great to celebrate. And we also have... Linda celebrating as well. Derek and Linda celebrating 183 days in Portugal. Well done, you two. I imagine you don't need many reasons to break open a bottle of Vinho Verde. I think that's thoroughly deserved on this occasion. 183 days in Portugal. Well done, you two, Linda and Derek. Okay. Yes, NHR, another NHR question, I think, coming up. So, says Rebecca H, we have NIFs and a Portuguese bank account and a VFS appointment in January 24. Should we try to reschedule the VFS appointment to sometime in 23? Should we get a rental agreement by December 23? And I'm guessing you're saying 31st of December 23. Should we get one or both of the above? Sorry if this is a repeat of what somebody already asked. It's not a problem because it's very confusing and we're happy to keep asking and answering these questions about NHR. So for Rebecca H, what do you make of that, Gilda?
Well, in my opinion, if they don't change the law, and if they will interpret and respect the law as it is, because this is also a problem, you should keep your appointments, but from my point of view, to be a little bit more secure, I would start a rental agreement in December. Okay. All right. Just to make absolutely sure. That tends to be how you advise your clients, isn't it? Belt and braces. Do the absolute
fail-safe option there. Okay, thank you very much. If you need to know more on that, Rebecca, do ask us. Going to pop over to YouTube now and say good evening to everybody over there. Thank you for becoming a member, Michael. Let's see who's over there. Reckless is there, Nubianet, Sumin is there, the Naunu, some familiar names, Christian. We've also got John Gibson saying hi to Carl and Gilda, and no doubt everybody else on the Dream Team. Russ, Hamad, Michelle, Arabesit, lots of people over on YouTube over there. Fish for sure as well. We're not going to get to all your questions. May I suggest, if you're over on YouTube, that you become premium members, and you certainly, if you don't become a premium member, take these questions to the Expats Portugal forum. Okay, we're not going to get to everybody tonight. That's Foreign Affair as well. Lorraine Clark, Droey Rahman as well. Michael, let me ask yours. I asked 2 Portuguese tax firms to estimate our non-NHR tax on combined retirement income of 68,000. Effective tax rate is 17%. It is still more than 10% with the NHR, but still not 43 as some think. It's not actually a question, that is it? It's just a bit of useful information, I think, from Michael. Thank you for becoming a member of the Expats Portugal YouTube channel. Right, coming back then into these last few minutes, and I'll try and get to as many questions as I possibly can for you tonight on this Dream Team session. We had a question about the elections in 24. I think this is probably for you, Daniel, is it not? And whether the what's likely to happen will change things over. I can't see the exact question, but what do you think is likely to happen, Daniel, with the respective parties that are coming in terms of how, I think really primarily how our expats, foreigners and immigrants will be treated over here?
Well, I think that from the elections we'll have a weak government that will last for 1 or 2 years maximum. This is my guess.
Right.
It's still difficult to foresee what's the result of the elections, if the same guys that are in power do win, or if the opposition party wins. So you have some what do you call it? It's polls that are being done, and the two parties seem to be a bit au pair. But as things progress, probably this may change a bit. So no one will have full majority in the parliament, and therefore they will need to do coalitions, and usually coalition governments are weaker, and they terminate early than the 4-year term. So this is my guess on the elections, is that either party that wins will have a weak government and elections in 1 or 2 years. And hopefully by that time, a party will have a bit more votes and can form a government with full majority. So we have a term of 4 years that is fully done by one of the parties that usually governs the country. In terms of the foreigners' acceptance and laws to have or attracting more foreigners, it's a bit difficult, and it's a sensible topic at the moment, especially because of the housing situation. So I would say that the parties don't want to discuss that topic because they know that it burns, and it doesn't bring any new votes, and it may take some votes out. If they are smart, they will do policies. They won't talk about it much, but they will do policies to attract foreigners that will be helpful for the Portuguese economy. But they won't discuss it publicly a lot. This is my take on the situation.
Thank you, Daniel. Abby and Maria's question was, what is your view on the changes left or right for the upcoming election on the property market and expat benefits? You've addressed that to a great degree there. On the property market itself, what would you say? I mean, you know, there is something outside of politics, isn't there, which is just the sheer demand for property.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So which is likely to keep things buoyant.
In Portugal, it's quite easy to buy a house. So you just need a Portuguese tax number and the money. That's basically what you need to buy a house.
Yeah.
Some of the countries do have restrictions, or they want you to have a residency permit, or they want some type of connection with the country, so you're allowed to buy a house. In Portugal, that's not the case. everyone with the money and with the Portuguese tax number for himself and eventually the spouse will be able to buy a house here. And I don't think that restrictions on this area will be imposed, although they were discussed a bit, but I don't think that that will be the route for Portugal, either if the same guys remain in power or if the opposition party wins the elections. The thing that would do the trick is more investment in public housing, because we have the investment in the last 30 years in public housing was negligible. So no new construction was done, public construction was done. And to allow the private sector as well to build more housing. So the two sectors combined, the public and the private, should just put more houses in the market, because if there's more houses in the market, the prices will either decrease slowly or plateau. But this is not the case yet. The public sector is still not building anything as of the moment, and the private sector has so many bureaucracy to solve that it's difficult to build a house from top from bottom to top in a quick fashion. So resolving bureaucracy would do a great deal for more private housing in Portugal and public housing as well.
Very interesting. So it's not necessarily politics being the main driver. It's sheer demand that's going to continue, isn't it, on the housing stock here in Portugal?
Correct.
Great question.
I agree.
There from you, Abby and Maria. A good question from Barack as well. A few things have been sorted out safely here in Portugal. Needs to exchange Portuguese driving license now, or to a Portuguese driving license. Thank you for your help with that, Jerry, behind the scenes. I know a lot of people are working hard behind the scenes here, direct messaging and so on. So thank you, everybody, for doing that. EI also has a service, right, Gilda? Carla takes care of driving license exchanges. Is that something that Barack could take advantage of?
Carolina also.
Okay, brilliant. All right. So Carolina is, oh, yes, I see. Carolina's given you her email address to help take care of that for you there. 3 minutes to go until 10 o'clock. We need to lighten the mood, don't we, a little bit? We will continue to talk about the NHR, the definitions of transitory period, and some of the grey areas that I hope will become more clear over the next few days. We will discuss on the forum, and we'll bring other webinars to you to elaborate and to clarify the situation as the information becomes available to the professionals you see in front of you, Gilda and Daniel notably here, and Duarte as well, of course, who will bring back to answer that. If I may just lighten the mood a little bit at the end of this webinar this evening, as we go into a holiday in Portugal tomorrow. A few people have been saying it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I think it is. And there was something about the cultural expectation here in Portugal about when Christmas... Oh, here it is, Tom. Speaking of Christmas, says Tom, when do Christmas decorations go up in Portugal and when are they taken down? I'm going to ask all our Dream Team panelists tonight to answer that. It depends on who you... If you go to Continent, you can see Christmas decorations straight after Halloween. How should it be done, Camilla? Sorry, I completely surprised Camilla and ambushed you with that question at the end there. And a supplementary question for you, Camilla. What is your favorite Christmas light display here in Portugal?
Oh my God.
Because there's a lot to choose from, right?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's really beautiful. I like Chiado.
Okay.
Armazéns do Chiado, I like that place.
Very good.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
And when do you think they should go up, the decorations? I've told my family it needs to be this weekend. It shouldn't happen until December, because every time somebody mentions Christmas before December, apparently, Santa has to shoot an elf. I'm sure that's not literally true, but it works for my family anyway. Camilla, when do you think the decoration should go up in Portugal?
Should be starting tonight, isn't it?
Well said. Excellent. Okay, and when should they come down?
But not because of the rain. It's canceled, something like that. I'm not in Portugal. That's because I don't know what's happening. But I heard something that is raining a lot.
Okay, so be careful
that's
out there.
Why the lights would not be on tonight. It's something like that. Maybe you can.
I think you're right.
More than me.
I think you're right. I think the rain in Portugal has affected a few switching on sessions and some of the lights going on. So thank you for that. Chiado, you recommend. Thoroughly agree with you on that. Tessa, are you actually in Portugal? Or are you dealing with US expat taxes on the other side of the water?
I'm actually based in South Africa, so
Are
not
you?
actually
Wow.
in Portugal.
No, fair enough. Didn't expect you to be. I just wondered if you had a view on that. So, well, happy Christmas to you. We can officially say that tomorrow. Thank you for being here tonight. If you need any help with expat taxes, go to greenbacktaxservices.com and ask for Tessa. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you for being here. Daniel, when should Christmas decorations go up by law and back down again?
Well, in my view, it's indeed this weekend on the first weekend of December. And they usually should be taken down by Dia de Reis. So it's the 6th of January. This is my take in terms of family, what we usually do. The first week of December, the Christmas lights will go up, as well as the Christmas trees. And they are usually removed around the 6th of January.
12th night, perfect. And your favorite in the country?
The favorite place in terms of Christmas lighting? Well, Chiado is great. I love it. And Praça do Comércio as well, because they have a big Christmas tree over there. So those are the two places in Lisbon that I recommend.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here tonight. It's been a tough one, and thank you for being here. And we will keep that conversation going to help people with the NHR, of course. Gilda, Queen of the Visas, when should decorations go up? When should they come down? And what's your favorite here in Portugal? And you can include the Principios as well.
So I'm just like Daniel. It's for us. It's always on the 1st of December, because it's a holiday, and we remove them on Dia de Reis, which is the 6th of January. And my favorite one, it's the big Christmas tree on Praça do Comércio. I like to go inside and take pictures inside.
Yes, that's brought a lovely smile to your face. Thank you very much for all your hard work this evening. You were with us for both webinars, as was Carolina. Carolina, I didn't ask you. What's your favorite?
I will go with Jill as well. It's the Praça do Comércio too.
I can see the A staff popping over there between now and Christmas with a few bottles of espumante and having a little drink inside that Christmas tree. I wonder if we're all invited to that. So yeah, officially begins tomorrow. We will have a Christmas party with the legendary Christmas quiz here at Expats Portugal, closer to Christmas. Jerry, over to you for your last words.
Yeah, thank you, Carl. Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank our Portuguese stream team members tonight for, given that you are facing a long weekend, which I'm sure is very well deserved. Thank you so much for putting in your time tonight. And we wish you a lovely and relaxing long weekend. To Tessa and Sheree, I'd like to say I'm sorry you kind of jumped in at the deep end here. There's a lot going on, and but you know, there's nothing like being sort of exposed to what we do, and hopefully you found that interesting and enjoyable. And most important tonight, I think Carl deserves a big round of applause, because we've been almost overwhelmed with it all tonight. You've done a great job, Carl. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I mean, my concern is that we you know, like I said before, we're so used to helping people, aren't we? In the webinars and in the Dream Team session, and we have officially been overwhelmed. And the best thing I can say is like take your questions and concerns to the forum, right, Jerry? And keep talking.
Sure.
Get some help over
coming
there.
at us, and we'll do our best to get everything answered. We really will.
Yeah.
So coming up on Saturday, this Saturday at 9 p.m. Lisbon time, we have a social event with Hank and Connie, just to get to know people. People are starting out the journey. People have already arrived in Portugal, probably some Portuguese friends as well. So come online and chat about anything to do with Portugal. You'll be very, very welcome. And following that on Thursday at 7:30 Lisbon time, Jackie will be presenting the first of a series of webinars about the true value of living in Portugal, and we're going to. Jackie has a very detailed analysis of some cost comparisons in comparison with doing the same thing in the UK or in the US. And it'll also be very interesting to hear her perspectives on other aspects of living in Portugal. So that comes up next Thursday at 7:30, and then followed by our wonderful Dream Team again at 9 p.m. And as you said, Carl, we will be hosting a Christmas event, I think on the last Thursday before Christmas. But keep a watch on our events calendar, and we will have our famous quiz. But the highlight of this year's event will be that Carl is going to sing a song about some new poem that he's written all about Portugal. I'm so looking forward to that.
5 lines of limerick is about as much as you get. But
if you tell us the key you can sing in, Carl, we'll put it to some music for you.
There was a suggestion you might back me up on guitar, Jerry. So dust it down. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Thank you all. See you in